We gotta take care of this baby.
And nobody claimed him, so we just took him.
They took him to the vet, and there Davidson went to get him.
I called his name, and the word, he right came to me. I knew it's him.
Davidson says she plans to give the Good Samaritans the reward. Winds News Time 7:15. Well, the firestorm continues for South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who is defending her decision to shoot a 14-month-old dog to death. She told CBS's Face the Nation she was trying to train the wire-haired pointer Cricket for hunting, but the animal was not trainable.
This was a dangerous animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. And I had little children at the time. Our operation had many kids running around and people in interaction with the public. And I made a difficult choice.
In the interview, Noem also suggested President Biden's dog Commander should suffer a similar fate because of its history of biting White House staffers, saying, "Commander, say hello to Cricket for me." Commander's been rehomed with a Biden family member. Winds News Time 7:16. City parks are about to be a mess. That is the warning from council members as they fight the mayor's plan to cut some $60 million from the budget. Last year, cuts were reversed. Now, though, the Adams administration is proposing a new cut. District 5 council member Shakar Krishnan says this would be devastating.
That means our parks won't be cleaned. They'll be overflowing with garbage. Our bathrooms won't be cleaned often enough. Our overgrown trees won't be maintained. And there will not be jobs for parks workers who depend on these jobs to have a stable path in public service and who we depend on to keep our parks clean.
New Yorkers for Parks Group says these cuts could mean the elimination of 700 jobs. They call that a slap in the face of New Yorkers. No response from the Adams administration so far. They're called glass eels, snake-like sea creatures with transparent skins, and they sound kind of icky, but they're actually apparently a good sign for the Hudson River. Experts say the creatures are making a comeback in the river after decades of population decline. They're a major food source for striped bass and bald eagles along the waterway. And while they're declining in the ocean, the population's apparently on the rise in the Hudson. Some observers say that suggests environmental conservation efforts are working. New treatment for people with advanced melanoma, and we're hearing about this on what's called Melanoma Monday.
Dr. Josiah Lutsky, the director of cutaneous oncology services at the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, says this cellular therapy is a major breakthrough.
This treatment actually was way superior to the standard that people have to offer to patients that have progressed on the first line of therapy.
The therapy is intense and typically includes a combination of surgery and high doses of chemotherapy.
But it is concentrated in a very short period of time.
During the clinical trials, more than half of patients who responded favorably had maintained that response for over 3 years.
Correspondent Stacy Lynn. New food event is coming to Long Island. The Mineola Foodie Festival is set for May 18th in Wilson Park. LI Pop-Up is organizing it. There'll be more than 60 food trucks, booths, kids, activities, music, even a market with food and home products. Mineola Mayor Paul Pereira tells Newsday he hopes it'll inspire people to come back and try their restaurants. Winds News Time 7:18. Hey, parents, feeling burned out? Well, it turns out that parental burnout is not just a thing, but also that almost 2/3 of people with kids have it. A new survey from the Ohio State University says 62% of parents are suffering some level of burnout. Researchers say the work of parenting can take just as much of a toll on mental health as a paid job, leading people to become isolated and exhausted. Really? Advice: reach out to friends and family members, take small moments to yourself to re-energize, and set realistic expectations. Winds News Time, 7:19.
Now this message. Susan Richard here with Michael Barish of Barish and McGarry, lawyers.
Welcome back to another Documenting History. The mission of this channel is to document history for future generations. It's very simple. I drive to work, I listen to the news, and I broadcast the news.
300,000 downtown office workers, the 50,000...
And of course, that includes commercials and all.
...responders, and the 35,000 downtown residents are all eligible.
A lot of people think, I'm healthy, I won't qualify. Not true.
You can register even if you're healthy because you need to have witnesses. You need to have proof. And every year that goes by, it gets harder and harder to find those former coworkers, your former neighbors, your former classmates.
Michael, how can people contact you to help them enroll?
Go to 911awards.com. That's 911awards with an S.com.
No New Yorker should have to worry about where their next meal's coming from. Tended Winds and City Harvest have partnered to help feed those in need. Help us help others and go to cityharvest.org.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. 54 degrees at 7:20 on this Monday, May 6th. I'm Kathleen Marple-Kalb. Here's what's happening. The traffic nightmare is over. I-95 opens again in Norwalk days after the tanker fire. Traffic in seconds and 10 Wins Sean Adams in Norwalk. Off duty and to the rescue. FDNY lieutenant saves a person from a fiery crash in Brooklyn. A woman's fighting for her life after she stepped off one MTA bus only to get hit by another. 10 Wins Glenn Schuck following the story in Brooklyn. Suspected international jewel thief busted after a six-figure heist in Manhattan. As A-list as it gets. The Met Gala is tonight. We've got a preview. Rangers beat Carolina, Yanks win, Mets lose. 10 Wins AccuWeather, few showers early, then some fog, but eventually partly sunny and warmer. Maybe a shower late, high 71. Winds use time 7:21. Traffic and transit now. Here's Karen Stewart.
What is going on in Jersey? We're falling to pieces here quickly, too. On the New Jersey Turnpike, southbound, the car lanes at 10, we had an overturned vehicle. All lanes on the exit ramp to 10 are shut. We're also shut on northbound 21 at exit 14 for Route 46 in Clifton, of all places. An accident there is what we're dealing with. We've got a southbound Garden State Parkway crash at exit 129 in Woodbridge. A westbound 280 disabled vehicle near exit 14 in the right lane. And if you're traveling the Turnpike car lanes, this just in southbound at 14, we got an accident blocking the left lane on the exit ramp there. And let's talk about 80. 80 is a mess, yes. From 46 out into exit 34 for Route 15 in Wharton, eastbound. We've got the remains of a tractor-trailer fire there. The right and center lanes are blocked. And again, we go back to Route 46, which is the recommended alternate. And yes, as you've been hearing here on 1010 Wins, we are back in business on the Connecticut Turnpike. Although, be it, we do have slowdowns on the southbound side of 95 through Norwalk, but all lanes are open. No problems to tell you about other than some slight delays. Traffic is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. From the Farmers Dog Traffic Center, fresh human-grade dog food delivered right to your door. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Build a self-care routine at Whole Foods Market. Save 33% on all body care and candles with Prime through May 7th. From luscious shampoos to sun care essentials, you're sure to find a new favorite. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
You can get there from here. As you've been hearing in 10 Wins traffic, I-95 has reopened in Norwalk days after that huge tanker truck fire. 10 Wins Sean Adams is following the story.
It was a mad dash, but Connecticut DOT reopened I-95 in Norwalk ahead of schedule. Northbound lanes on Saturday, southbound on Sunday. Heavy machinery plucked out the steel and concrete of the Fairfield Avenue Bridge, which was compromised by a raging gasoline tanker fire. DOT Commissioner Garrett Eucalito is already planning to rebuild.
As soon as we remove it, we can begin the inspections of the pier in the middle and the median. If that pier is safe and solid and there was no damage to the pier, that will make life a little bit easier to do a complete rebuild.
That, he says, could take a year. This is a vital link to South Norwalk, which is cut off by the highway. There's a fire station here, and Norwalk Hospital is nearby. Sean Adams, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Norwalk.
Of course, stay with 1010 Wins for all the latest traffic and transit on the ones. He was off duty, but an FDNY lieutenant was right on time to rescue the victim of a fiery car crash in Brooklyn this weekend. Just after 3 a.m. Saturday, officials got a call about a collision on the Belt Parkway with a person trapped in a burning vehicle. Fire officials say off-duty Lieutenant Rich Cannon happened to be driving by. He stopped and jumped into action. Pulled the person from the car before it was fully engulfed in flames. EMS took him to the hospital. Cannon was not hurt. There is a good reason you're hearing more about scams targeting seniors. An FBI elder fraud report shows they have more than doubled since 2020. Victims have been taken for more than $170 million last year. New Jersey's Congressman Josh Gottheimer says more than 2,000 Garden State residents reported scams to the FBI. The average loss, almost $34,000. He tells 1010 Wins it is time for the feds to do more.
I'm introducing my bipartisan legislation. It's called the Empowering States to Protect Seniors from Bad Actors Act, which actually has a grant program to invest in states to help stop these senior scams and help these states have resources to have scam enforcement offices and have cutting edge technology and education to inform the public about these senior scams.
The measure would also involve social media platforms asking them to put warnings on potential scammer accounts. And it would designate May 9th as National Scam Survivor Day. Wings News Time 7:25. Well, it turned out to be a perfect weekend in the standings for the Yankees and a perfectly awful one for the Mets. 10-10 Wins Mark Renee wraps it all up for us.
Yeah, Kathleen, Aaron Boone's Yanks got a 3-run double in the 7th inning from Juan Soto to take a 5-2 lead on the Tigers, and then the game was called after a rain delay in the 8th.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 innings or so was pretty bad. Puddles were forming. It was not great.
But the Yankees were, as they made it a 3-game sweep, while the Mets were a strike away from winning 1 game at Tampa Bay.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swinging a high fly ball deep to left field. Back goes Nimmo onto the track. It's gone!
Howie Rose on WCBS's Edwin Diaz gave up a game-tying home run.
Tough loss, tough series, obviously. Had a lot of opportunities there. We created traffic and just couldn't get the big hit.
Carlos Mendoza's crew would lose 7-6 in 10. Mark Renee, 1010 Wins Sports on 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time 7:26. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch. Here's Scott Carr.
Well, good morning. Sam Ash Music Stores, based in Hicksville, of course. They used to be the largest family-owned chain of musical instrument retailers in the country, with 44 locations across 16 states. They said last week, with a heavy heart, they said, they had plans to close down all of their stores. But there may be some hope for some locations. CEO Richard Ash telling the Wall Street Journal that they're looking for someone to buy them out. Ash says that he believes someone will want the brand in at least some of the stores. Otherwise, could be a good time to pick up that guitar you've always wanted. X, I guess I don't need to say formerly known as Twitter anymore, will start summarizing news events by using XAI's chatbot called Grok. X says that AI-generated summaries will rely on users' messages. You can't call them tweets anymore, can you? Not third-party news articles. It will only be available to premium subscribers. Right now, we have futures still higher. Dow futures up 123 points. NASDAQ futures up by 43. The S&P higher by 17 points. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Scott Carr for 1010 Wins on 92.3.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining and watching this historical broadcast. And when I say historical broadcast, is you'll probably be watching this many, many years from now. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.